Alright, and we are good to go. Tonight we'll be doing a bit of Motorcycle Mechanic Simulator 2021, which did the tutorial and it seemed fair enough, not like maybe the most realistic one ever, especially the driving part seems to be kind of simplistic, but overall looked interesting enough to try. It doesn't seem to have any proper licenses, so it has very generic things as far as actual motorbike brands or such go, but otherwise it seems quite well implemented still. So let's move towards the game and see what we actually succeed at doing tonight. At least the tutorial was pretty easy, like replace the tire on the front wheel and add some oil, so it kind of was quite easy comparatively. No difficult repairs required in the tutorial. So let's go to the game main menu and see what else we get. At least the PC building simulator had quite amusing stories for the prompts for the repair jobs. So let's see whether this reaches same level of kind of internal humor or not. So let's load game. We just finished the tutorial, so we should have here save for that. Here we go. So we open the mail app on the tablet. Right, a good old-fashioned visit to the mechanic. Peter95 at yourneighbor.com. Alright. How long it's been since I've been to a normal mechanic for an inspection? Long enough that probably all the filters and brake pads need replacing. I'll tell you that much. By the way, check all the fluids in the vehicle too. Alright. And we indeed need to check like the brake caliper, air filter, brake disc, brake pads, and so on. So let's accept that, and we should get the motorbike in the garage to work on. Which is the case. So let's see how that works out. So we should check the air filter, which would be yeah, here's the air filter cover, air intake connector, so it's kind of suspected that it would be disassembly. Right, now it appears that we can actually unscrew the air filter cover. So and remove the air filter itself. So how do we now know whether the air filter was good enough? least we can probably buy a new one. Would be of course good to know what type of a bike that is, so would buy the right parts even. And now that the image is even pretty much the right size on screen, because it seems the game insists on using some slightly less usual display settings, so now I actually do see all the instructions. So let's see how actually we can So we first of all need to choose the motorcycle type. It looks most like this with the kind of blade seat and everything, so let's buy an air filter. We could also buy like classic, $30, alright. Of course, providing a new part is easy solution in this respect. We install nice new air filter and install air filter cover and then tighten the screws, so this should take care of, like, the old air filter was like zero condition pretty much. Alright, we are done with the air filter, so should at least improve performance compared to the earlier air filter that had like zero condition remaining. So in that respect looks considerably better with the replacement air filter for one thing. So let's then see what we should do next. Brakes would appear to be words of attention, so let's see how we dismantle the brakes in this thing. Alright, it's mostly on the other side, so let's rotate the view, and then we of course want to remove the brake caliper. Brake pads. There we go. Brake disc also looks kind of pitted, so let's please try and remove the brake disc. We most probably have to first remove the axle in any case. least it doesn't seem that you can remove the brake disc with the axle in place. Alright, now we can remove the brake disc. It looks kind of pitted and rusty, so somewhat suspect that we should also replace the brake disc. So let's buy some parts. Would think it's considered to be suspension part or not. Brakes, so there's brake pad front left, brake pad front right. Brake disc front. I wonder if we actually have to replace the brake caliper, but because the brake caliper is somewhat confusingly cheaper than the brake pads, we are certainly also replacing the caliper, because then we have the kind of fancier parts. But certainly, unless somebody asks for premium parts, of course you never provide premium parts at will. Like let's increase our parts spend for nothing. Of course you never get premium parts, just like without especially asking for them, and also then putting the costs. So that should be it. Let's then again start with the assembly mode. Yeah, this isn't like in very good condition. It's also unpaintable, and surprisingly you can't paint the brake disc though. That would be interesting. Yeah, this looks much better. It's not like pitted and rusty, so should be helpful. Then we can install the holdfasts. The axle. And then we can install the brake pads. New pads, please. Also, the old brake caliper appears to be in pretty distressed condition, so then we can attach the brake caliper. I think that's pretty much it, as the brake caliper mount is not removable. Do think that we put everything back together correctly, which is of course rather important, especially with motorbikes. It tends to be that if there's any issue with it, it's much more probably than, unlike many issues with other types of equipment, it's not immediately lethal, even if it's not quite put together right, unlike with the motorcycle. Right, fuel valve, rear light, throttle left, throttle right. Alright, so let's inspect the rear light next. It looks a bit worse for wear. I'm sorry if you can recondition that, or is that also like replacement job. Let's see. So they're like probably that's an accessory. Yes, light rare. Nice new rare light and everything. So assembly mode, please. Yeah, that was also in pretty poor condition. New rare light, please. 4 bolts, and apparently we do not need to deal with the electrics. So the rear light is done. Fuel valve. Alright, that's something probably like between the fuel tank and the motor. So let's take the motor maintenance view and just the fuel valve. No, we didn't want to fill the thing up with fuel. Alright, let's try again. Fuel valve. We still didn't want to fuel the thing. We have to remove fuel first, which is of course logical. Alright, now there's at least no fuel in the tank, so let's see if we can now do something about it. Alright, the fuel valve is now removed, so it didn't even show it being removed proper. Let's see, fuel valve among the engine parts. Yes. Assembly mode, please. Apparently we do not need to assemble anything for the fuel valve to be done. Then we still have the throttles. Alright. Does it mean like the that's just like hand grip. Because the kind of like throttles either refers to the things you have in the carburetor or to the throttle controls proper. So let's check. Yeah, it's actually related to the carburetor. Calling these just throttles is kind of confusing, because this doesn't really appear to be a fuel injection motor in any case, and then you call those only throttles. So either it is an injection engine, which is weird because it seems to be that the fuel hose is simply connected to the air intake, and then you have the two parts here which would look like carburetors. So this doesn't look like a fuel injected motor really, from how the parts appear, but apparently when they are called only throttles, it would be a fuel injected motor at all, but let's assume because it has throttle bodies rather than carburetors according to the description, we assume this is a fuel injected motor with the fuel hose simply going to the air intake. So whether the injectors are like hidden there, do not know, but it looks moderately odd. Let's purchase again, like doing engine parts, the throttle bodies. You can't paint those either, unsurprisingly. Assembly mode. And screw those back on. Alright, and now we have done all the jobs, so it is time to go for a test ride. We still do not seem to have any other places unlocked except the abandoned. Right, we are still missing something with the liquids, so which isn't shown in the job list. So let's try and do correctly with the liquids. Wherever the oil tank / oil. In any case, do not think this is a two stroke, so yeah, there's a dipstick, so there very clearly is actual oil in the crankcase. Now to find the correct place to insert oil. Would appear to be there. No, that's the dipstick. Do you then actually add oil? Oil directly that way. Yes. So oil is added directly through the dipstick. Pretty good guy at pouring, like you pour into the small dipstick hole directly from the oil can and actually hit it right. So let's put the dipstick back. There we go. Then we of course need to add some fuel. Alright. I'm sure if there is separate requirement to like change the brake fluid. No, now we can go and test the motorbike. somehow the bikes turn really poorly compared to how agile tend to at least assume it would be with many motorbikes. It's kind of really long turning circle with very long preparation for the turn, so it's kind of first thing was surprised about when tried the first test ride is how badly the motorbike actually handles. Alright, we also had a bit of a crash. Apparently the bike stayed really well upright and we can still tilt the bike while we are not riding it, so that would deem that successful test ride. So let's return to the garage. Confusingly, the test riding part is done really sloppy, like you can even tilt the bike through the controls even if you're fallen off the bike. Oh, hello there, Kamu and Kisu, great to see you both, and indeed it's something new. Motorcycle Mechanic Simulator, so we just finished doing maintenance on one bike and test rode it with interesting results. Yeah, it's kind of like it turns really poorly, like, and kind of not really how motorcycle is supposed to handle. Was also this one's opinion, like the test riding is done really sloppy. Even when you crash, like fell off the bike, but you can still tilt the bike with the controls, like without the rider. And it keeps going upright, so it's kind of like would call the overall test riding part not exactly the strong suit of the game. But yes, let's look what we have for next job in the email as we finished this bike, so we can now choose finish. And we gain some experience, so let's see if we can increase abilities. We have already gained the ability to utilize a multimeter, and we have 2 points, so we can't quite. Also everything takes 3 points, so then there are also passive skills. Right, so let's then take the next job. Alright, so we need to Mr. dv.net at angelomail.com. Alright. I'm planning on taking my bike on a cross-continental tour again. Could you prepare it for me? That's quite a bit more demanding, like your machine certainly has to work well, like if you are intending to cross the whole probably American continent, so that's actually like quite extreme already comparatively, like in terms of not breaking down. I'd like to embark on my trip knowing my machine is in its top shape. Alright, let's see. This doesn't exactly look like a bike you would normally go to cross the continent on, because it's like more of a chopper or bobber, so it's kind of like probably not the most comfortable ride ever, and you have quite little capacity for luggage, so kind of surprised that would be the bike one would go crossing the continent with, but fair enough. Customer is always right. Hello there, Tigatron. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you are having a good day also. So let's see our good cross-continent ride, guys. So we need to change the handlebar. Alright. Fork leg left, modern. Alright, so we need to actually like work on the front suspension. So let's start removing the fender. Nice baby blue color and all. Alright, that was the fork leg left, so we need a new one. And then we need to kind of recognize the motorbike, so from the rake and everything would say it's the Texas Riders one. Then we want the fork left leg, classic, modern. Alright, whoever wants to replace only their left fork leg, fair enough. But it's not compatible. Why so? Does it like require replacing also something else? In the first place, it's kind of confusing to be asked to replace only the one of the fork legs. So let's remove also the other one and see if we need to replace also other parts. Alright, now we have both legs removed and would think that also the front clamp would require replacement if we need to dismantle the wall handlebar anyway, as they wanted to also have the handlebar changed, so remove the dashboard. Remove the controls here. Remove the mirror, and now we should be able to remove the handlebar. There we go. Alright, let's take this apart. Remove the dashboard connector. Then we have to remove the light fixtures. Remove the light. Now we can remove the wall top steering clamp. So, oh, hugs from all critters. Nice. So we most probably need to also replace the top clamp with the modern one. To have compatibility between the, and then we also need the modern fork left right. There we go. That should be more correct. So let's start again in the assembly view and try to install the modern top clamp. Alright. Looks much better. And then we reinstall all the fixtures, which is a bit of light bulb. It's still fine, so and the turn signals. There we go. We also were asked to replace the handlebar, so we need to buy a different handlebar. Let's also go for the modern you can even replace the frame. Alright, in the accessory category, at least various tanks and saddles are here, but brakes, alright. Handlebars altogether separate, so let's see what handlebars we do have available. Handlebar modern, alright. Now we can install. I think this wasn't the right one though. It looks a bit rusty. Yeah, this would be the one we want. Mount the mirrors. Mount the controls. Fortunately, we do not need to route all the cables again, which would be a lot of work, even like knowing from maintaining bicycles. It's a lot of work to reroute all the cables if you have to take the cockpit apart, so it's kind of right. Here's our cockpit, and now the handlebar replacement is done. That looks even worse, a handlebar for riding cross-continent would say. Oh, hello there, Priares. Indeed, we are upgrading a motorcycle to a customer who wanted to ride cross-continent and would consider that like the last bike would take for riding cross-continent with. Like it's a chopper and doesn't look very comfortable to ride across the whole continent. So, and of course, greetings to you, Priares, and thank you for joining some motorcycle mechanic tonight. So let's see how our good cross-continent guy does with that kind of a machine. But yes, kind of not the first type you would imagine for cross-continent riding. So time to install the fork legs, and now we can install the modern ones. So we had to indeed replace the whole front fork to do that. Now we can install the braking parts again. And they also wanted better like braking parts, so let's see. At least install the fender in any case. They also wanted to replace the mirrors, so let's take care of that in the meantime. There we go. Yeah, the mirrors are kind of seeing their best days, so let's purchase some new mirrors. Do we have any other types of mirrors? Yes, modern. That's also right. There's the new mirrors. Then we needed to replace the brake pads and improve braking, so we most probably need to replace the brake caliper and such with higher grade model. So let's remove the brake caliper. And they wanted to replace the brake pads also. Unsure if the brake disc doesn't look that bad, so let's keep the brake disc for now and buy some brake parts otherwise. Brakes, and then we of course would like to use modern braking +1, so it's already an improvement. Modern brake caliper, modern brake pads, modern brake disc also adds to braking, so let's move to modern brake disc also. So replace the brake disc, so we need to remove the brake caliper clamping. And probably need to remove the fender again. Let's see. Alright, now with the fender out of the way, let's remove both the front. And now I think we can remove the brake disc, yes. Assembly mode, please, and now we install the modern brake disc. And the brake pads, as we now have new ones. Brake caliper attachment, and then the new brake caliper. There we go. And attach the fender back, and we should have improved braking with the new brake parts. There we go. All requests done for the Transcontinental. Indeed, thank you, Manchu. Great to have you here, and we will indeed meet soon at East. So also taking this partial actually, because the partial hasn't really gotten to yet any bigger convention, only smaller events. So and streaming. So taking this suit actually along. So you will even see this suit at East. So in that respect also, thank you for the greeting, and always good to have you here, Manchu. So let's see then. Maybe go for a test ride. They didn't ask any flutes to be replaced, so let's see if the test ride app complains about them. Yes, and most probably. Yeah, we are also missing the dashboard and liquids, so it's true that all the jobs are done, but we should also put the dashboard back together, because currently the handlebars are otherwise good, but there's no dashboard at all. Start putting this together. And that should finish that. Then we of course need to replace oil, so remove old oil. Pretty easy with the suction tool. And then we again pour like with extreme skill, which is interesting. Like you just pour it directly from the oil canister, and that's it. Oil has been changed, so let's also ensure that we have fuel. And or at least new fuel apparently, because it always wants to remove the old one. So then we can pour really skillfully without even the whole trail of liquid appearing. Let's see if we can now go for the test ride. Still only abandoned port available, and what we are still missing, ignition. Forklift grease. Alright, that's interesting. So we have to actually grease the suspension. Sounds kind of add grease. So let's add some. Alright, do we have to do that on both sides? Yes. So let's add some grease there. Interesting solution. So you actually need to add grease there explicitly. And then we still had some issues. So let's see. Ignition. Alright. There doesn't appear to be much else else to that. Let's remove the ignition cover and see. Remove the spark plugs. Ignition mount, alright. Do not think we need to replace the ignition mount. Let's buy some new spark plugs and see if that is sufficient. Spark plug A, spark plug B, so you actually get different items for the two spark plugs, which is kind of not totally logical. Let's see. So nothing was actually wrong with the ignition parts wise. Alright. Missing parts, ignition. Alright. Not very logical, but do you think it's the one small part in the handlebar? Yeah, the kind of like ignition lock. Alright. Now we have one in place, maybe. Maybe our motorcycle functions now, yes. That took a while to find like the last because the overall description wasn't very descriptive. Interestingly also, when you brake, the screen flashes in time with the brake light, so really well programmed what comes to the test ride. And again, we didn't really succeed at turning, but the bike fortunately still agrees to tilt. That was successful test ride. We crashed, so the bike works. And we are good to finish the mission in mail. Right, and we probably gained more experience. Let's see, 4 experience points. So we can unlock more skills. Alright, unlocks ability to repair brake parts. Engine fixer unlocks the ability to repair engine parts. Alright, good use of skill points. Let's also save game in between for prevent hazards, because this kind of games usually crash. Yeah, Back Problem Express would be quite a good name. You are right, Priareas. Considering like that the bike doesn't look much like a good idea for transcontinental riding. And Waves the Manchu will meet at the east, it seems, so was nice he dropped by. And let's get another mission from mail. Let's do at least one more tonight, and then gradually finish here. It's been nice doing some motorcycle repairs and upgrades. So let's see, what do we have waiting in the mail? Missing handlebar. Hi, I recently visited a buddy who lives in one of the dangerous neighborhoods in our city, and as a result someone stole my handlebars from my motorbike. That's like the first item to steal, going to remove your handlebars, unless you watch out. Please install some new handlebars and repair any other faults in my machine caused by the incident. Right, let's install new handlebars. So, have you ever had your handlebar stolen? Anyone in the chat, like? The handlebar even isn't missing. Alright. So we need to only add the hand grips, levers, mirrors, speedometer, turn signals. Alright. So let's see, we are clearly missing quite a few parts, but the handlebar itself is there, it was not stolen. Simply mode. Right, we need to purchase all the matching parts. Let's see what bike this would be then. Can we check that also with the motorcycle status? Yes. Itzy Motors Fatty. Alright. So now we know what bike it is, and we need to buy most of the. Amusingly, the handlebar itself was not stolen, but all the ancillaries from the handlebar, which is even more confusing. Like, really? Like, we didn't even steal the handlebar itself, but all the ancillaries from it, which is an interesting way to go about it in terms of the theft. Like, we don't steal the handlebar itself, but only the ancillaries on it. So let's get buying. Mirror right, mirror left. Handlebar lever left, handlebar lever right. Hand grips. Good. And let's have another go. Now that we even have parts. starting to look much better when you install the missing parts. There we go, first batch of parts, and then we had some light front glass, speedometer and turn signal front left. Turn signal also needed replacing according to the, and the speedometer. So we need to buy turn signal, front light glass and speedometer. Putting those are in the accessories. Yes, light front glass. Turn signal front left. And the speedometer. Only $61, which is fortunately cheap price for something that usually costs quite a bit. Like the in general the kind of meters and parts like that are pretty expensive usually. Like mechanical speedometer certainly would be more than $61 most probably. Install the turn signal. And then we need to install the glass. There we go, all nice and new. We have done all the tasks indicated, so let's see. Do we again need to do something about fluids? Test track. Right, so we have another place to test ride in the testing track, and our motorcycle is even ready, so we did all the jobs needed in one go. And it's of course very unfortunate if the thieves have stolen the ancillaries from your motorbike handlebars. Like the handlebars themselves were not gone, but all the ancillaries were taken, so somewhat surprisingly, this bike is probably the nicest this far. It even handles a little, so we fell off, and for some reason it's always, you fall off, it doesn't really even agree to try to climb back. You have to push R and it doesn't seem to start in the same spot. It still turns quite poorly. The handling is surprising. So let's return to the garage and declare this ready. We did get thrown off it, so clearly the bike works. the handling is confusing because you can't make tight turns even when moving slow. Alright, finish. Another job well done. Yes, Kisu is of course always good at determining the correct motor sounds. So it's been 1 hour 10 minutes. Let's do one more job tonight and then finish. So let's see what we have. Crazy night. I was at party and things got pretty rowdy, ending up me riding my bike into a barn. Sounds like good condition to go motorcycling. Could you see if there's any way to restore it? Right. Hand grip right. Handlebar cover. How did that old job disappear? Alright. Motorcycle problem. I have some problems with my motorcycle. Can you check it out? Alright, let's check it out. Alright, nice purple color and everything, and fancy bronze colored motor. Let's see motorcycle status. Hawk Atticus. Alright, now we know the model of the bike without any image identification, and then we need to replace the fuse box cover 2. Yes. That's awfully specific part. Right. There goes our fuse box cover. And let's buy a new one. Let's see if the fuse box cover is accessory, or fortunately we can search here. Fuse box cover 02. There it is. Alright, nice and new, unlike the previous one was kind of discolored. Next item we need to change is hard luggage. Alright. Does this even have any luggage pins? Should be in the accessories. Let's take the black box. More stylish. Now that we find the location of the hard luggage again. There it is. And let's put the new one in. Saddle needs to be replaced. Let's buy a new one. Saddle. Alright. This one like the different color one. So let's put that one in. There we go, looks much better with the purple. Yeah, the primary drive with the side-mounted belt sander would be interesting. Like you can also sand your woodwork while you're riding along, powered by the motorcycle engine. Sounds like a promising concept. Possibly this should be inspected more. Power tools for the road, powered by the motorcycle motor. Then we need to side stand food and tank plug also need replacing. Yeah, that's pretty small side stand for a machine of this size. Let's buy a new one. Whopping $10. Alright. There we go. Tank plug. It's like the one on top of the tank. Yes. Removed, and let's buy a new one. Assembly mode and install the most confusingly, we do not get the part selection window. Let's buy. Save the game first and buy another one. That's clearly that didn't really work. Interesting. We buy sufficiently many tank plugs for one of them to fit. One meant to do something here. That is most confusing. Like what one is supposed to do here. Let's check. Are there any instructions online? Like that seems really odd. Alright, let's see. Let's change the fuel first and then try again, like. And we have no fuel. Really, we apparently have to remove speedometer. At least that's the impression one gets. Just zooms in and you don't know how to actually put that into place. part selection window actually refuses to appear. Also for other items could be a bug, so let's save game and exit the main menu. Quality of the game is causing certain questions. Load game and try again now that we have more computrons again in the game or something. Like there's the theory that accumulation of computrons causes issues. Alright, good night pre-arrears and thank you for joining. So sleep well and see you soon. And let's see if we can install the final parts and finish this bike still tonight. Alright, and assembly. Yes, that was a bug. Very nice. So now we install the speedometer pack. It's always difficult when the game is bugged. There we go. Then we had one task left which said something. Alright, handlebar lever right needs to be changed to classic. Right. Here we have new part. Alright, and all tasks are done, so we should also add more gas into the tank. There we go, some nice new fuel. And our motorbike should be ready. Let's see. Let's go to the test track again. Alright, and our motorbike appears finished. Let's again ride it around a bit and then conclude for tonight. Yes, our bike moves and still handles like, and even brakes like, yes, that was good handling. That clearly was not the problem of the bike, that it handles like quite debatably. That was probably the worst handling one that I've tried. Never mind, the bike is ready and the customers would be happy. There we go. So let's save game here. And with the usual 1.5 hours done. Alright, and we are ready to finish. Let's see if there's anyone online even to raid, because it's a bit late. Might be that none of the really like closer contacts are streaming by this time. So let's see. Alright, Yuna is still streaming Euro Truck Simulator, so let's rate them, because of course appreciate simulator solidarity that you do different simulators. Let's see that they are still playing. We got an advertisement for Samsung, it seems. Whatever. This one's channel certainly like Never Run ADs kind of feel that. Yep, they are doing some night driving, so let's go and check out some Euro Truck. Alright, and raid is ready, and let's move to the big picture. This one thanks you for watching some motorcycle Mechanic Simulator, and hopefully you enjoyed. Good night, and there will be a streaming break over East, so see you early next week. Thank you and good night.